All right, welcome everyone. Dr. Mike Reed from Chiropractic Masters International. I want to welcome everyone to today's Master Talk. And I'm very blessed to have a good friend of mine and a documentary videographer, Jim Chester. And Jim, for those of you who know, he did Chiropractic, the documentary. Well respected, well used, well loved by the profession. And one of the things that I love about Jim is that he's a chiropractic advocate. And sometimes I like to think that guys like Jim are warriors that really want to get the message out. Although not a chiropractor, I like to think that he is. So first of all, Jim, I want to thank you for being on this call with us and sharing how to create magnetic new patient attracting videos for Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And you and I know the importance of having video in today's world, and it's not just important. I think it's absolutely critical in order to be a dominant player on social media. So, Jim, let's just open it up and talk about a little bit about video and the importance, and maybe just share a little bit of the impact that your documentary had on the profession.
Well, sure. I appreciate the platform on the Master Talk. And just to let you guys know, I have a little firepower next to me, and that's my co-creator of the documentary film, Luke Millette.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Hey, Luke, welcome.
Thanks, it's been a while.
And I just wanted to make sure that some of the content that we're covering tonight that isn't my strong wheelhouse, that Luke has the expertise in there. And we're also, a huge team. So I think it's integral for both of us to be on here. I just happen to be the guy that gets all of the screen time. So, but back to the film. Yeah, we wanted to let chiropractic live outside the four walls of chiropractic. And we actually had our own big idea. And we wanted to share the chiropractic message to the masses. And I feel like we delivered that. And we do want to thank you and Shireen for being a part of that film as well. So thank you for that, Dr. Mike.
I'm more than happy to help you guys achieve your dreams here. So thanks for being on tonight.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and we're ready to dive right into the topics if you're ready.
Absolutely. So let's get started. Let's talk about where do you want to start? You want to start right on videos or the importance of social media?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's just talk a little bit about being social on social. I don't know if that's a term that many of you guys really use, but I kind of think that being social on social is highly important. Not only having captivating video and attracting people with the video, but also being relatable and being in a digital conversation with people. So whatever platform you're on, if you're on an Instagram, if somebody says, hey, nice gallery, I like your pictures, give them a heart or say something kind back to them. Say, hey, thanks for noticing. Or if somebody comments on a Facebook Live that you did, never leave them hanging. Always go back and be social on the platform with them. Because honestly, Mike, that's why they call it social media.
True, that's right. Absolutely.
And let's just talk a little bit about the platforms. Facebook, I think that's the granddaddy of all chiropractic or of all social media. And then Instagram is also I'd say it's the up and comer, but YouTube is also, it's got its own niche of to how it became so powerful, because it is the actual the video hosting platform out there. If everybody knows anything about YouTube, you can find out how to do anything on there.
And I think that how-to aspect, when doctors ask, hey, what sort of videos should I do? I said, can you think of something how-to with relation to chiropractic? And those are popular, whether it's how to bend over and shovel snow, or how to get out of bed. We had one doctor did a simple video on how to get out of bed, and I kind of laughed when he told me that, but he had over 4,000 views. So I laugh at the silly videos that doctors are doing nowadays because they're all clickable.
Yeah, and if people do them the right way, there's a lot of strategy involved, and we'll get into that information as we go on. But there's a couple different types that we're going to touch on right away with Facebook videos, and those are the pre-recorded. Those are the things that are going to have the sequence of before, during, and after. So we want to tell a story, even if it's in a 30-second video. We want to make sure that we're connecting with our audience the right way. So just the rule is know your audience and find out the message that you want to provide. Like you said, if it's a video on just how to get out of bed or shovel snow, know your audience that you're presenting that to, and have good signage of who you are and what your clinic is. Tell your story, and then have a call to action. And whether you're doing that on a pre-recorded video, a live video, or then a sponsored ad, it's highly important, because you actually want to drive people into your clinic with a sponsored ad. You don't want your ad money to go to waste.
And you know, something you said that was really important, I just want to pull that out to the doctors listening, is the call to action. Now, a lot of doctors, Jim, are hesitant to add a CTA to their videos. And I think it's really important, because people like to be told what to do. And at the very end, if you give great content, and you can do that content, but I think there should always be a CTA where you give them instructions. Click on the link below, visit our website, come in for a new patient exam, whatever it is. Always have that CTA at the end. I'm a big advocate of that.
Yeah, and I'm going to let Luke take over on what you'll need to do video in your office, and I'll let him lead into with the next 3 points.
So there's lots of different types of cameras with varying qualities you can use depending on what kind of video you're shooting. I know here I have iPhone listed, but you can use any smartphone of today's generation. As long as you have one of those phone tripod things to hold it still, you should be good with that. You should have a proper video camera, whether that's a camcorder or a studio quality video camera, and a webcam, something that can plug directly into your computer so you can do live videos on Facebook and Instagram. And aside from a camera, you're gonna need lights. I can't tell you how poor lighting could really ruin the credibility of any video you try to shoot. So have proper lights, and have a microphone to capture good, clean audio, because lighting, audio, and image quality are the 3 things that keep people engaged and watching whatever video it is that you're presenting to them.
So Luke, I often tell the doctors, just get the softbox lights, the ones you can get at any sort of camera shop, $150. And the microphone, I'd like to get good quality audio, like the Sony UWP transmitter receivers. What do you recommend for doctors? Because most will want to keep it on a budget. If we can keep this under $1,000, then most doctors out there can easily afford to do the quality videos in their practices.
Well, again, it depends on the kind of video you're doing. If you're doing a Facebook Live video on your laptop, we use a Yeti here. That costs, how much did that cost, Jim?
$145.
$145. How do we sound?
You guys are awesome. And I love the Yetis. I have one too. And for doctors that don't know what a Yeti is, it's not the cooler for your beer. It's those round sort of mics that plug into USB port on your computer. And they are awesome, aren't they? And you get those at Best Buy or any of those places, and they're fairly cheap, but great quality audio. I agree.
And if you're going to be doing higher professional work with a full-on camera rig, I would suggest any kind of wireless lav lapel mic would pretty much do you justice, as long as someone is monitoring the audio on the camera.
I agree. All right. Let's jump to the next slide.
Sure. So types of live videos. This is something that this is our sweet spot right here, because we push out about 7 Facebook Live videos a week. And I know that there's different types of formats that docs can follow. You can do condition specific. You can do patient testimonial style lives. I know that some docs are doing testimonial videos, and they're getting 3 to 5 new patients a week if they use them properly. And I think the testimonial style is just amazing when it comes to getting conversions, because what happens now is you share that on your page and other people can share that, and it just becomes this cascade of sharing where now people you didn't even know knew about your practice know about it, because now your superstar patient that is getting better after their 3rd to 7th visit are talking about how great Dr. Mike's adjusting skills are and how their headaches went away. That's a pretty common thing for people to talk about, or that darn sciatica went away. So I think that those are really good types of condition-specific testimonial videos that you can do Facebook Lives on. And most people are really happy to share their story because they know that, number one, they kind of feel like that 15 minutes of fame has come their way, but they're also feeling better too. And most people that are feeling good are really primed to tell their story. And I think, like you touched on this earlier, Dr. Mike, is tips, stretching tips, drinking enough water tips, things like that that are real applicable to the everyday Joe. It might be something that you're going to tell them proper, if you're one of those fitness type clinics, proper lifting techniques or proper ergonomics, or just the things that people don't think about that have an impact on their posture related tips. So there's a whole slew of things, but I would do something that would help you guys out and write down 50 condition specific titles and then make a series of those type of videos and then push those as Facebook ads.
And I agree with you guys. What length do you guys find is most applicable? I mean, I've discovered from doing this over the years and from research that there's a certain sort of video length before everyone's ADHD kicks in and they start crapping out on you. What have you guys discovered?
Well, I'll tell you, I think that the Facebook Live kind of lives outside of the box of this with the interview style. I think that is kind of, there's a technique why we go as long as we do on that, and I'll get into that once we cover that topic. But I think with Instagram, people have about a 30-second threshold. With YouTube, they have about a 2-minute threshold, and I think it's about a minute with Facebook. So I think you should keep all those types of barriers of ADHD idea of people's attention into mind when you're creating content. But I will tell you that if you do a longer style interview style, that gives people the opportunity to jump onto that. And it might not be immediately when it starts, but if you're going 15 to 30 minutes on those, people jump in as the video goes on, and it can build momentum and get more followers as you go.
And I agree, one of the things when you get into that length and you start doing case studies, people love case studies. And that through the testimonial, it's extremely powerful to get people to follow cases. Like I met a guy the other day, he didn't know chiropractic could help with migraines. So, and that would be a great sort of follow along going through his history, what his health was like before, then after, and make a story out of it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. People want engaging topic. They want to engage, and they want you to engage with them, like I mentioned early on. So if people do start becoming a part of your audience, make them feel special every time.
Now, I know where you guys are going with this next slide. You're getting more into the tribal sort of story aspect, telling the doctor's story as you get into high production videos. So let's chat about that.
Yeah, and this is really our wheelhouse. This is how we can probably be the most benefit to any of the people in on the Master's Talk tonight is we specialize in this stuff. So I recommend all docs out there listening to have an office clinic tour video. That gives the prospective new client, new patient, an opportunity to see what your clinic looks like before they ever step foot in your office. I know that might come top of mind to some of you, but it's not that. It's not just information that you know that you need. And I think the next thing is meeting the doc, getting a quick doctor bio, talking about the doc's history, why they became a chiropractor, and why they want to serve that community. I think those things are really high leverage video pieces, and the higher production on those, that's really your home. When you're not in your office, your home is your website. And when you're not living at home on your website, you're living on your social media platforms. And that's why video is so important across all these platforms. And I can't stress on it enough how important it is to have the type of quality for video testimonials from a Facebook Live perspective to a professional perspective. I know some people say don't ever make video testimonials professional grade. I disagree, because what we'll do is we'll take that Meet the Doctor video and we'll splice in patient testimonials while the doc's actually doing care with patients and making this high-end production that you can actually feature your office. And it's really something you'll be proud of, and all of your practice members will want to show their friends and family.
Yeah, the other thing too, Jim, with this is, I always say to the doctor, what's your case average? If it's a 2,000 or 2,500 or even 1,000 case average, what's your investment in something like this that's going to last for years, and this can last anywhere from 3 to 5 years, before up to 7 years. You want to rebrand and maybe repolish your videos versus a low quality. And I think this is critical, especially if you are sort of that purple cow. You have a uniqueness in what you take care of in your practice, and you want the higher end clients. I think you can't put a dollar figure on something like this.
Well, yeah, Mike, I think it's evergreen material. And I think that when you have an evergreen product and you invest into it, it's going to pay dividends, and you can't put a price tag on that.
I agree. All right, so let's talk about some pro tips here.
Okay, so I'm going to have Luke help me out a little bit with this, and he's going to lead in with number one.
So the most important thing is when you're filming yourself is to make sure that you're properly framed. I mean, anybody out there watch the news? The easiest way to tell if you're framed right is just frame yourself like how the people on the news do it. Don't cut off the top of your head. Don't cut off the bottom of your chin. Just make sure, you look good. And it sounds silly, but, we know a few people who struggle with that aspect. And then after you frame yourself, make sure you're well lit. Jim knows a lot about lighting.
Yeah, so I would recommend anybody, like Dr. Mike alluded to earlier, is getting yourself those soft boxes and make sure you have a good 3-point light system set up to where you're minimizing shadows, and that, all subjects in the frame look well lit and well represented. And you don't want to have anything looking, weird shadows or, I guess lighting has a lot to do with it. And unless you're looking for a dramatic effect, be mindful of your lighting.
Always rehearse what you're about to say. No cursing unless you're Gary Vee. No ums or ahs, and try not to stumble on your words. And after you record whatever video it is, you can strip the audio from that video to repost it on other social media platforms like iTunes or SoundCloud or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that what we're getting at is that the more creative you are with the capture that you have an opportunity to repurpose that content onto different platforms. So I would say that anybody that is creating these Facebook lifestyle interviews or condition-specific type posts, then you can strip that audio from there and you can repurpose it later to maybe a podcast style format, which is like Dr. Mike's 2-minute tip of the day, or something of that nature, something creative that you can do to not only do a great video, but then to think about how that video can live somewhere else with just the audio. And, number 5, it's okay to reshoot. Don't post until you're 100% satisfied. The creators of the project, they don't want you to do that either. So if you're the end user and you've actually invested into having high quality video, make sure that you are satisfied before you go public with the job that you've actually invested to have done.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys. When you do a video, I always talk about repurposing the video. So you want to load it onto your desktop. You can put it onto YouTube. You can use it for your Facebook news feed. You can set up as your podcast, which the doctors, if you're listening to this, you should be doing podcasts, SoundCloud or iTunes. And then you can take that video and you can link it into your weekly blog as a vlog, and just links back to your YouTube. So there's a lot you can do with video. And, one of the things I do get from the doctors is I don't have time. And that's sort of, well, let's make time. Let's find time during the week. My good friend Chris Burfield, I love what he does. He goes into the studio on a Saturday once a month, and he shoots like 6 hours of video. He knocks off the whole month, and I think that's genius.
Yeah, I think honestly that people that want to get fit, they make time for it. People that want to become master adjusters, they make time for it. And people that want to make dynamic video, they make time for it.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So let's talk about YouTube. I love YouTube, and I think that's something a lot of doctors need to tap into, especially getting their own YouTube channel for their practice.
Yeah, and this is something where Luke swings a heavy bat. He is the cleanup hitter on our team with this, so I'm going to let him go in and talk about YouTube tips.
So the biggest problem that people seem to have on YouTube is they always say something like, people aren't visiting my channel. I'm like, no kidding. What are your tags? And they say, what? I'm like, exactly. Having relevant and engaging tags is kind of the secret sauce to YouTube. For every YouTube video you have, YouTube allows 30 tags, I believe, and you want to max them out every single time. If you're having a headache video, you should be putting tags like headache, head, and then ache. I know that sounds stupid, but you'd be surprised at how much traction that can build if you really break down every little teeny tiny tag. Put your social media links in your website in the description. Make sure the description is descriptive and informative. People seem to rush through these simple little steps, but it eventually is their downfall. This is what attracts people to the video in the first place. And you want to make a custom thumbnail. I use Photoshop. I'm not going to expect everyone out there to know Photoshop, but you can download simple programs like Canva. That's what it's called, right? Canva.
Yeah.
Canva.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, anything like that. Just make custom thumbnails. Make a custom channel name. Don't have it be JHQZY. That's like the standard naming convention of all YouTube channels until you're around for a while. So as soon as you can, get in there and change your YouTube channel to whatever the name of the channel is. And again, take all of your YouTube content and repurpose it. Push it to Facebook, push it to Instagram, and push it to any other social media platforms that are relevant and important to your business.
And I'll just finish up with this. If this is too much of a cumbersome project for you, you do need some hand holding, please reach out to us and we'll help you guys with this type of streamline.
Yeah, I'll do this for you. Call me up. I will get into your YouTube channel and I'll completely overhaul it for you.
All right, let's talk about some pro tips, guys. And this is important with the backlinks.
Okay, so pro tips is backlink all social media links to your website and test your links. So say like today, I made a post for Kaylee Judge. I backlinked to our website, I backlinked to her episode, and I backlinked to all of our sponsors. So what you want to do is make sure that those hot links work. So if you see something that is highlighted blue, that's a backlink to one of your social media links or to a website or to something where somebody can click from that post and take you to the desired location. So I think that that's highly important for people that want to make those condition specific videos and you want to backlink that to your website. So you'll tag your website underneath the video. They'll watch the video, they'll click to your website, and now you get a new patient. Pretty cool. Create closed caption files for all of your videos for higher engagement. There's a website out there called rev.com. They charge you $1 a minute. So if you're very concise with your video that you want, and it's maybe 5 minutes, it's going to cost you $5 to get a spot on closed caption video or link that you can then attach to your video and then upload it.
That's cool. I did not know that, so that's good to know. All right.
All right, and here's Luke's wheelhouse again, stats.
So people are less likely to do business with your company if you don't have any video content. Without video content, you're leaving money on the table. How does that work? Well, if you have a video on your homepage, you're automatically 54 times more likely to show up on the first page of a Google search.
And a lot of docs don't know that because when I look at some of the old websites, Luke, I mean, they're what I call institutionalized advertisement. It's that stock photo of the smiling meadow running family, and they don't have a welcome video or video content. And people really want to get to know you, who you are, what your mission is, what your purpose is. So I agree 100% that it's all video from here on in.
And like we said in one of the earlier slides, I mean, people want to see your office. They want to meet the doctor without having to go all the way to the office first. It's building trust before the initial meeting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the most powerful welcome videos is a client of mine. Many doctors know him, Benny Matthew in Cardiff, Wales. You can go to cardiffbaychiropractic.com and see it on YouTube as well. He did a 3-minute welcome video, just absolutely smashed it. And people loved it. And a lot of guys have emulated that in their welcome video. So that gives you some ideas what to do. And it's really about that sort of right brain, sort of emotional based, content based, that people want to get to know more about you. It's not just the left brain facts and stats. People don't care anymore. This is a totally different era and a genre of people that we really got to appeal to their heart.
Yeah, and I think that when you think about doing dynamic video for your audience, like I said, people trust you more. It's trust-based marketing when they see you talking to your prospective new client on your website. I think without that, people just don't get. They don't engage on your website. They don't stick around.
I agree with you. Yep, you guys are dead on. So, all right, video's done for you. Let's chat about that for a bit.
Okay, so this is really where we can help you win. We run a video marketing agency for chiropractors, and what we do is we help take the headache and hassle out of your video production. Just ask us how. Well, asking us how gives us the opportunity to set up an A through Z production for you. Our typical process is about 3 hours. We can come in and do dynamic work for you and then give you something back in return that you're very proud of, that you can use to market yourself for not only that first week, but maybe a few years to come.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so selling is what you do on day one and day two. That's when people actually hit your door and they come into your office and you actually have a time to build rapport with them, do proper intake and the report of findings, and then you tell them your recommendations, and then that's selling, I think. And marketing is what we do with the video. So always being in the news feed, always following these tips that we shared with you early on in the webinar. So you want to always be thinking of different strategies. You want to do Facebook Lives. You want to do condition specifics. You want to teach people how to do stretching. So you want to make sure that you're hitting all levels with the testimonials. And then you want to make sure you have dynamic professional work done for you so you look good in the marketplace. And that's marketing, in my opinion.
Fantastic. And Instagram.
So Instagram, we are going to tell you that Instagram is a 59-second platform. You don't want any video you put on there longer than 59 seconds. So it's really, that's our sweet spot, the 59-second commercial. So what you're going to do is take the content that you create and you're going to splice it down and take segments out of it and then repurpose that into your Instagram feed. And then you can honestly, you can take that same video on a smaller level and put a smaller feedback onto YouTube and get a longer view time of that video for what it is. And honestly, Facebook has a cap. You have 5,000 followers, and as you know, Dr. Mike, once you hit 5,000 followers, what do you have to do? You have to become a business type format or a public figure or something outside of your personal page. So endless users on Instagram and YouTube make those things highly attractive. And I think that the more followers you have on social, the more opportunities you have to attract new patients into your office.
And that's important. The Instagram has to be under a minute, or you have to disconnect it on Facebook because you can't run them side by side. So let's talk about some video stats here. You guys have what we were talking about earlier, so this is perfect timing.
Yeah, average watch time for a video on Facebook is 1 minute. Average watch time for a YouTube video is 2 minutes. And average watch time for an Instagram video is 30 seconds. So this is basically know your viewer, not just know your audience.
And make it compelling, because, if you're boring, if you're not exciting, you're not giving something of value, they're going to click out in 10, 15 seconds and look for somebody else. So have fun with these. I always talk about having a glass of wine or a beer before you shoot, just to relax. Don't be so stiff and don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, and when you do these things constantly like I do, you kind of lose that like anxiousness. But I know that everybody that you out there that's going to start jumping into doing video, rehearse yourself and do some hand holding with the people you do testimonials with. Give them a preloaded set of questions so they feel comfortable actually committing to sharing their story with you.
All right, so let's just talk about your services, guys. I know you have some packages offering the Chiropractic Masters group. We have doctors around the world. I know you guys are located here in the US, so unless you're traveling overseas, it might be difficult for some of those doctors. But when I look at this, I go, this is one or two cases in your practice in order to, get some high quality video going on your social media and your website.
Well, let me tell you this, Mike. When I look back at, I was hunting for an old video out of hundreds of tapes that I made for a client of mine because he wanted to get something specific out of it that I shot back in 2011. And what I can tell you is that our quality of content has come so far. We used to shoot hours of footage just to get 3-minute spots. And now we're so concise with our time. We know exactly what we want to capture. We know exactly how to prep people for the shoot. We know exactly the right locations to shoot in. And chiropractically speaking, we are chiropractic producers. This is our chosen profession because we believe in what you guys do 100%. And that's why we want to create massive value for the Masters group. And we want to give you guys the ability to actually utilize our services to make your clinic look the best.
And it's funny, I'm looking at your advanced package here, 12 edited individual patient testimonials. And I think that's powerful, guys. So you got professional testimonials for website, for Facebook. You've got a montage of patient testimonials, which is huge. You got your doctor's report. So this is massive. You guys don't want to sit in front of your patients and do a doctor's report. Have these guys film you, and then you've got a package you can play on your TV screen or on a computer. And then meet the doctor. There's your interview, and blend that in with your office tour. Man, you've got everything there. Everything is ready to go. So I mean, that's done. You guys can do it in probably what, half a day, a couple hours, 3-4 hours.
Usually we spend about 3 hours on a shoot, and then we have. I don't want to pat ourselves too heavy on the back, but we have a very quick turnaround time. And the thing is you have us as a trusted resource now too by contracting us. We're going to teach you the strategies on how to get your content onto the social platforms and how to actually put a marketing campaign around it as well.
That's huge, guys. And for the investment that these doctors have, this is a no-brainer. So all they have to do is call the number below. Because this is going to be podcasted, that number is 720-940-8207. And Jim and Luke, your website?
AdjustedChiromarketing.com.
AdjustedChiromarketing.com. So this is amazing, guys. We've got a lot of doctors on tonight.
Well, these packages are for domestic based clinics, and they don't include the travel into them. So this is just us being on the door, touching the doorknob, coming in, doing production for you. So if you're within a 2-hour drive of us and we're in Colorado, we'll happily come out and do the production for you and not upcharge you for travel. But if it does incur flights or any type of accommodation, that's not included in this price tag, just to be clear.
Fantastic. I know I've got you guys coming to Washington for the Prosperity Summit in September, so we'll definitely look at having you guys hook up with our practice to do some professional video editing for Dr. Shireen. And Jim, I'm going to put that website right in here in the chat box so the doctors can see it. So one more time for your website.
AdjustedChiromarketing, all one word, .com.
AdjustedChiromarketing.com, correct?
Yep.
All right. So there it is, docs. That being said, guys, I want to thank you for being on. This is one of the best Master Talks we've had in a while. You guys were amazing. Great content here, great tips. No reason why doctors shouldn't be getting on board. Thank you for being on this Master Talk. Look forward to having you guys on again in the future and working with you at Prosperity. So for those doctors who want to learn more, you've got the website, you've got the phone number. Keep practicing with passion, and until our next Master Talk, Power Talk, CA Black Belt call, guys, we'll see you then.
I'd love to have you subscribe, comment, like, and share this video with your friends. And don't forget to go to www.chiropractic-masters.com for more free practice building tools.